AI Game Changers podcast with Luke Whips.
Where do you think we need to start this conversation for people listening to really understand who you are and how everything has come to pass today?
And I would say anything is possible in this world. I mean, we know each other for like 4 or 5 years ago, and then I was a data scientist. I was looking for jobs in Volkswagen and Siemens, and now being an entrepreneur, providing ample amount of jobs to the people, that is what is the different ball game here. So I would say people should go by their instincts and then gut feel at times, and they just have to be consistent. So maybe you can put a question that says how come, because a lot of people, they badly want to get into data science, and after that, what is the future? So they might look for a data science lead, they might look for a data analytics expert or lead data science position. But there is beyond that. You can provide jobs if you are consistent about your thoughts, and if you look around, if you look at other opportunities. Because look at me, blockchain is an open source. I still do data analytics there. So yeah, you can come up with a question like that.
Because your background is fairly interesting, Vijay, in the fact that you started your educational kind of journey within electrical engineering, right? And then you transitioned away from data science. So what was the driving force for you to start there but then transition away? How did that all come to pass?
So I did my master's in Munich, Technical University of Munich, as you might be aware of. And I ended up in data science domain by luck, I would say, because it was a colleague of mine at Telefonica, which is O2, one of the famous Spanish telecom companies here in Germany as well as in Europe. A colleague of mine, she took a break for her maternity, and in the meantime, before they filled that position, I was asked to do a certain amount of job in data. To be honest, that's my first look at data. That's my first look at what's data, what is data science. And telecom is massive. They collect so many data from each and every individual. So I briefly had a look at the data. I was really astonished of how and what it could do to let's say personalized offers could be rolled out to customers. They use data to understand customer behaviors, and I was really shocked and astonished. And the good thing about doing masters here in Germany is you kind of pick your own electives. So there are like 4 or 5 core subjects which you need to pass. But then I started digging deeper into data science. I started picking lessons on Python. I started picking lessons on statistics, machine learning, and what started as a side hustle that took me to a whole new level as a data scientist. So I joined the same Telefonica as a junior data scientist. So initially I was offered a student contract in telecom domain, not data science. But then when that colleague had to take a maternity break, I chipped in. I became a student position in data science team. I performed well. At the beginning, it was tough. It was brutally tough because I come from electrical engineering. I don't really know about what is data science. And I was consistent. I was persistent because I looked at Google, and everything that I see is data is the new oil. So I didn't want to take a step back from that moment because that was 2013, 2014. So it was like not now, 8 years, 9 years ago. And I just went to libraries, had a lot of YouTube lectures, and we don't have 3Gs at that time, I believe. So to stream a video, I have to wait a lot. Now we have 5G, but then at that time, even to stream a video, it's like really tough. So from there till this point, it's hard work, perseverance, consistency, and the belief and the self belief that I had that shaped me into this point.
Yeah, I guess at that time period when you got into data science as well, that was kind of maybe not the peak. I would say that's maybe around 2015, 2016. But that was when data science as a job title in an area was really kind of picking up speed, right? And then it then soon became the sexiest job title in, whatever year it was. So you got in at the right time, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely that was not the peak when I got in. When I got in 2013 or 14, it was like barely a field that people looked at, and especially telecom. They started looking at customer data. They started looking at what they could do. And at that point in time, GDPR came into picture in Germany. So they had to navigate through several doors before doing something. So we looked around, we started doing stuffs, we started believing in ourselves as a team, and then we created magic out of the data, and then the top management was happy, and then customers were happy because they get personalized offers, they make most out of it, and then we get a lot of profit out of it. So at the end of the day, analytics and data science is more like an add-on for every industry at that point in time, but now it has become like a part and parcel of every organization.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot weirder nowadays to find an organization that actually doesn't have a data science organization or some kind of ML AI enablement of some sort, right? I actually can't think of many businesses off the top of my head that don't have some kind of analytics function of some sort, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I started the career, when people used to ask me, Vijay, what is data science? What is this crazy stuff that you're doing? I used to tell them, look, we are not a car seat. We are like a seat cover. That is how I respond. Because it's without data science, you can still operate. You can still move forward with your businesses. But with a car seat, it gives you comfort. It gives you that aesthetics, right? So we are more like an add-on to what the businesses that are running currently, and then we just expand to a whole new horizon. We provide analytics, we provide in-depth decisions that can reflect on business decisions, right? If resources are not used, you can actually find them out through your data analysis, and then you can shut them off. And then if something is overutilized, you can do maintenance on that. So a lot more business decisions, and it in fact saved a lot of millions for big organizations. So for companies like Siemens, for instance, they built trains, Siemens Mobility, and to estimate when is the next maintenance, when could be the next repair, data science and analytics were pivotal. So it was much more needed, because previously what they do is they just shut the whole train down, they take it to the maintenance station, and then they do it manually, and then day in and day out. But with data science, you know how many hours a fan was used, how many hours an exhauster was used. So that provided an ample amount of business decisions, and that saved a lot of time, resources, and much more, right? Much more metrics. So yeah.
Because I think, I mean, I hope you mind me saying this, Vijay, but like looking back at your career from when you done your masters to when you became a data scientist at Telefonica, and then a data scientist at VW, and then an analytics solution expert in Siemens, your career was on a trajectory, obviously, but it was fairly kind of traditional, I guess, in the data science world. And then all of a sudden, it just exploded, right? And I mean, I'll let you talk about these things, but there were some critical time periods for you where your career was kind of going like this, and then all of a sudden, there was just exponential growth, right? So maybe for the listeners, I'd be very surprised about. There's not many people who don't know you in the data science world now, but maybe for the listeners who this is the first time hearing about you, can you give us maybe an idea of the critical time periods or the moments in your data science career that really shifted you to another kind of layer of depth?
Like you said, I started as a student at Telefonica and then navigated my ways through the same organization by getting an internship, and then that converted into a master thesis, and then I ended up as a junior data scientist. So that's a fairly straightforward career journey that anybody would dream of. And then from there, I went on to Volkswagen, one of the leading automakers in this country. And then from there, another typical similar range of industry, that is Siemens. So look at the wide range of spectrum that I already covered. One is telecom, one of the huge telecoms. O2 or Telefonica is among top three telecom in Germany. And then Volkswagen, and they are number one in terms of making automobiles in Germany. And then Siemens, look at Siemens. They have a wide range of spectrum that I can throw my ideas into. So, having gained this experience in various industries, telecom, automotives, and then Siemens Mobility, where I was helpful in helping out Siemens analyzing train data, I kept on looking at how other domains could also use the same data analytics and data science power. And then I was constantly looking at domains and new verticals that are coming up. And that is when I spotted blockchain. And blockchain is open source, so lucky for me. And everything that is on chain, it can be analyzed even now. If you want to dig into blockchain, you know where to go. You have places, you have resources which you can look at. So at that point in time, pandemic happened. I would say it's a blessing in disguise, because I have nowhere to go. I was shut indoors. I have to shut myself in front of the computer most of the times, or in front of the TV. I mean, how many Netflix series you would watch, right? At some point in time, I felt bored, and I was constantly looking at other verticals where data analytics could be used, and blockchain sounded interesting for me at the beginning. And while looking deeper into it, I didn't have so many folks who could do something on blockchain, right? It looked similar to how I started data science long back in 2013. In 2013, I hardly had folks who could talk data science to me. Now it is 2022, almost 10 years down the lane, and now I have so many people who can interact with me in data science terms. Similar to that point in time, I had blockchain where nobody bats an eye on it, and even if half of the people knows it, they think it's scam. It's a financial fraud and so on. So I started talking, reaching out to a lot of people. I started talking to people, and then sort of assembled a small team. I wouldn't say a team that want to build something out of it, but then it was more of a curiosity project. It was more of a side hustle, which we worked on Saturdays and Sundays, and sometimes in the evenings, late evenings. And now you know how bitsCrunch started. So we started with a team of 3 to 4 people at the beginning, and then expanded. We attended a lot of hackathons. So what is the quickest way possible to learn something? To attend meetups, to meet people, to do gatherings, right? But that was not possible during pandemic. So what was the other option? It was hackathons. So a lot of online hackathons took place. We applied to everything that is on screen, and we got into few. We were rejected in few, and we kept on building. So the first 3 hackathons we miserably failed because we lacked the knowledge of blockchain. We didn't build anything. We were just there, just as a participant, observing things, observing others' output, and then slowly gaining momentum. And then our first investment opportunity came out of the same hackathon. So we kept on participating one after the other. We lost miserably at the beginning, and then while progressing, we got a spark. We built something. And then we were runners up in one of the 5th or 6th hackathons we participated. So look at the perseverance. Look at the consistency. Even after failing 4 or 5 times, we kept on going. And then an investor scheduled a call with our team after we became runners up. I mean, that investment didn't go through, but then we gained a lot. We got that spark. We got that momentum, I would say, and then kept on going, built this, and now we have raised over $6.5 million, and we are a team of 40. So yeah, things
Things are
really
looking
get
up.
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, awesome, man. And look, that's why I wanted to get you on the podcast, really, because your career is one that obviously people find inspiring just purely down to the amount of followers you've got and the amount of times that you get invited to come and speak and stuff like that. So, you know, you must be doing something right? But, you know, even just from an outsider's perspective, looking at what you've achieved over the past couple of years, it's been incredible to watch that, you know, that growth, right? So I just want to kind of take you back a little bit and not skip any of the important steps, because so for the listeners that don't know bitsCrunch, can you give us an overview of what, because we've got a lot of the buzzwords, right? We've got AI, we've got blockchain, we've got NFTs. I don't know if we've got crypto, but if we've got crypto, we've got all of them. So maybe can you give the listeners an overview of what bitsCrunch actually does, and then we can kind of dive into the journey.
Yeah, sure. So bitsCrunch, we crunch each and every bits of data that is behind blockchain. That is how we started. So data crunching is one of the common terms. It's one of the widely used terms in data field. So I'm a big fan of two words clubbed together. Let's say Facebook. Face is a word, book is a word. Clubbed together, Facebook. And then Microsoft, right? And there are so many other brands that you can take as a reference. So I want to name a brand that has two words, independent words, clubbed together, and that's how we ended up as naming it as bitsCrunch, which also resembles what we do at bitsCrunch. So we crunch each and every bits of data behind NFTs. While looking at blockchain is huge. You have Ethereum, Solana, Polkadot, Avalanche, and so many chains out there. And we wanted to focus on a particular niche at the beginning. So that's why we picked NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which was one of the widely used terms in 2021. Right, a lot of brands chipped into NFTs. LG, Samsung, Reddit, Starbucks is into NFTs. Apple agreed to publish NFT games in their app store. So a lot was happening. So we wanted to focus on a particular niche in the blockchain, because blockchain is like an ocean. If I say that I'm gonna conquer blockchain world, then I'm the stupidest person in this world right now, because there are teams, there are persons who have done that, who are doing it flawlessly, and I don't want to be just another piece on the cake. So what I did is to focus on NFTs. So we looked into analytics, what is happening, what is the business value that is being created, what is the number of sales, number of volume, and so on. But then we wanted to build forensics as well. That is something that was missing in an NFT space, and not a lot of people were building on top of NFTs. So we started becoming the NFT police. I mean, my dad is a police in India. So I started the same route here in the NFT world. And now things are getting shaped up well, right? I mean, we are backed by some of the best investors in this space. To name a few, we are backed by Coinbase, the publicly listed US company, and then Crypto.com, Polygon, Animoca Brands, one of the top gaming VCs. And then you might have heard about Chainlink. So Chainlink, one of the famous crypto projects, recently became our investor, and Hashkey Capital, and the list goes on. So if you name top 20, top 25 VCs, I have half of them on my cap table.
Yeah, that's not a bad starting point, right?
Yeah.
So I understand the forensic part, right? So if you maybe just so I like really visually understand it, right? So I'm a consumer. Is it called a consumer of NFTs? I don't know if that's the right terminology.
Trader.
Let's call me a trader of NFTs. So how do you work with me? Like, what do I get from working with you?
Okay. Let's imagine Luke wants to come into NFT picture. So you are analyzing some marketplaces to buy NFTs. I mean, more like Amazon and eBay for the real world. We have NFT marketplaces out there, and there are plenty out there. There are OpenSea, Rarible, eBay has bought one marketplace, Nifty Gateway, Mintable, Magic Eden. The list goes on. So I am in this NFT space. I know these names. But what if Luke, who is like fresher, who is new to this space, who wants to jump into NFT space, he sees plenty of marketplaces out there, right? And he doesn't really know which marketplaces should he buy an NFT. So he spends a lot of time on it, and then he finally picks one. Let's call it OpenSea. He goes there and sees plenty of collections out there. He was like bombarded by the number of NFTs getting sold there, right? Millions and millions of NFTs trading there. Now, what does he pick? So he finally picks, let's assume, Bored Apes. Bored Apes Yacht Club is one of the biggest NFTs out there. He finally narrows down to that point, and then he opens that and he sees 10,000 Bored Apes. How does Luke, who is a newbie in this space, gets to understand so many marketplaces, so many collections, and then so many Bored Apes? What does a normal person do? So that is where bitsCrunch comes into picture. So we tell Luke which NFTs are a safe investment bet, which NFTs are a good investment, and most importantly, which are not the good investment. Right? We kind of figure out, let's say there are so many things that are happening at the back end. So like a coin that has two sides. When NFTs picked up, there were scammers who tried to exploit. Scammers in the sense who were really getting what is behind NFTs. So what they did is wash trading. To give you a context of what we solve, wash trading is a phenomenon where people flip NFTs for higher prices. So let's say Vijay can create multiple MetaMask wallets in like 2 minutes. I can create a bunch of MetaMask wallets. I just have to install that MetaMask in a Google Chrome plugin, and then I have to just blast it. What I do is I just upload or take 2,000 euros or pounds in my wallet, and then I create an NFT. I just mint it and flip it back and forth. Either I do it myself, or what I'll do is, hey Luke, let's flip some NFTs for fun.
Gotcha. So are you saying that you would flip between yourself or with? So this trade washing is you and I would, as I say, you'd create an NFT. We'd flip that between us, and because of that process of you buying it, me buying it, that's an increase in some kind of like price value increase of that particular NFT because of those transactions, right?
So there are 3 reasons why people do that. One is price inflation, right? What Luke minted as $100 is now worth $1,000 after 5 transactions between Luke and Vijay. So somebody sees it from an outsider perspective, thinks that Luke is a great artist. So they put in all the money, and then we say goodbye. Thanks, that's not an NFT, that's just a joke.
Wow.
So that's one thing. And the second thing that is happening is marketplaces like OpenSea, Rarible or Mintable, they also rank such NFTs at the top because of their algorithms, right? Because we are trading it back and forth, and they are rating them highly as most selling or frequently sold NFTs because that their algorithm picks it up. But that is actually not the real trade that is happening. There is flipping happening, right? So they are rating it highly. And then the third one is some marketplaces also provide incentives to frequent traders.
Right.
So let's say Luke and Vijay flips NFTs for fun, tries to make money out of it, and then on top of it, marketplace like OpenSea and Rarible comes out and says, "Hey Luke, you have been trading a lot this month. Here is my $2,000 check for you."
Wow. No way.
And how does that look like? And then if these are existing in this space, why does somebody who is knowledgeable in NFT space doesn't involve himself or herself in wash trading, right? And that is what bitsCrunch picks up. We have machine learning algorithms that picks up patterns that are trading back and forth. We do scoring. We do scoring on NFTs, more like a credit score for NFTs. How good is an NFT? Is it new? Is it trading since 2013 or 2021? And we do a credit score on the trader. Let's say we do a score on Luke's wallet, Vijay's wallet. Is it a fresh wallet? every time a fresh wallet comes in and does something on NFTs, will always have a low score because it doesn't have a track record, and all of a sudden it comes in and chips in $2,000 and tries to sweep something. We give a low scoring to that. So in this narrative, we are able to give the fair price to that NFTs as well.
Yeah.
So that is our second product.
Man, I just want to stop you there because I don't want to go too far past this because it's incredibly interesting. So, because the thing that you were talking about between those between two people or however many people flipping NFTs and then just selling them and then off they go, because that process could be easily automated, right? You could easily automate that process of like just automated trading between groups, and once it gets to a certain level, I sound like a bit of a criminal now, but because but you know that could easily be automated, right?
It's happening, and that is why we are in this space to clean it up, and then our mission is to bring trust and transparency into this space. I mean, look, wash trading happens everywhere. It happens in Web 2 space, it happens in Web 1 space as well. But the thing is, in the Web 2 space, you can end the trial of wash trading. If Luke gives money to Vijay gives it to someone, and then to someone. In the physical world, you can end that trial. You can withdraw that money from an ATM, and you can end that trial somehow. But in blockchain world, it's really tough because everything is on chain and everything is traceable. So I know which route Luke is taking and what is the route that he is taking to withdraw the money.
So is it actually illegal? It is illegal.
I mean, you cannot box it. You cannot get into a shell. Is it legal or not? Because look, marketplaces are giving rewards more like Amazon. Amazon gives rewards for frequent sellers and top traders in their platform. So that is something that they are giving out to their users, which is legally possible. And then guys who are trying to automate things, trying to flip NFTs for fun, trying to gain the rewards, you cannot get those legal pictures in here at this point in time. But I believe that is where bitsCrunch will be handy. I mean, I hope you know about chain analysis.
I mean, it depends what you mean by no, but I know of it.
Yeah, so chain analysis are doing a similar stuff on the crypto space. So when somebody tries to flip bitcoins or ethereums for higher profitables and then tries to scam people out of it, they work closely with FBIs and US governments and the top financial institutions. And look at the partnerships that we signed up recently. We are partners with MasterCard.
Wow.
So that's where we are heading. So we want to work closely with the governments, the bigger institutions, the financial world, where they need us, right? Because we are the ones who are already there, been there, done that category. So we have the algorithms, we have the scoring of what is fair, what is not fair. And probably when, let's say, UK's new Prime Minister, an Indian origin,
God,
is also
what
a
one?
crypto pro. Yeah, so if he wants to trace or if he wants to work with NFTs, then your government needs us. You need to pick the right NFTs and kick out the bad NFTs.
Yeah, I'll let Rishi Sunak know about the podcast, man. But so I guess like this is going to be a really stupid question, Vijay. But so you're probably on the understanding that NFTs are actually 100% here to stay, right? Because they've only really come on the scene over the past 2, maybe 3 years, like heavily. And I mean, there's a lot of hype around them, and then there's a lot of controversy in the fact that some people are like, I don't really get it. Like, what's the kind of purpose of this NFT marketplace? And you know, it's quite polarizing right now, right, about that kind of particular industry. So, what's your narrative on NFTs in general, kind of staying the course and being something that actually will still be here in the next kind of 10 to 15 years?
Yep. I mean, like you said, NFTs are more like a baby right now. It's just crawling on the floor. And look at the crypto space. It's in the scene since 2013, so almost 10 years of. I mean, they recently celebrated 14 years of Bitcoin's existence. So they have come a long way. But if you look at NFTs, 2 to 3 years is nothing when you compare it with 14-year grown-up child, right? So I would say we are slowly moving towards a much more utilities when it comes to NFTs from profile pictures, because when it comes to NFTs it's mostly PFPs at the beginning. That's why you get to see this Bored Apes and CryptoPunks and Mutant Apes that were a massive hit at the beginning. But then look at the other aspects. Gaming has a massive potential when it comes to NFTs, because you might have heard about PUBG or Call of Duty or any game that people plays, and they buy in-game assets. They buy in-game assets like mobile phones, t-shirts, or M16Z guns or whatever, right? And imagine if all of those are NFTs. You can potentially trade them, right? Because right now it is the gaming companies who earn a lot of money, and as an end user, as a gamer, Luke and Vijay gets nothing other than entertainment. We are spending hours and hours of time. I have played over 100 hours of gaming in my life, and what do I get out of it? I just get entertainment, that's for sure. I enjoy that. I play with my friends, but then at the end of the day, I don't get any monetary benefits. Whatever monetary benefits that are out of this game goes to the gaming development firm or the big gaming guys, and they get a lot of out of it. But with NFTs, the scene is going to change. So you and me going to get a fair share of what we are playing. So if we get this NFTs, if we get this asset as an NFT, I can trade it in that gaming community. PUBG has a huge community. I can trade this vest for someone who is looking for this vest. You don't have to go and get it from the developer. And then let's say if I reach level 50 or level 100, people used to term you as a pro. Hey, that guy is a pro in this game. And you get a badge. That is again an NFT. So for guys who want to go there, reach that point, they can still get this as a trade, right? You can get it from Vijay, you can get it from Luke. So the economy is going to decentralize, and that is where NFT is going to be really popular in the coming years. And then art, a lot of art NFTs are already out there. A lot of gaming events are associated with NFTs. Look at Starbucks. They have one of the massive loyalty programs like a club card points, and they are shifting to NFTs. And look at MasterCard, look at Visa, look at Google's looking at NFTs, Apple's looking at NFTs. So it is going to stay, and that is why we are building this beautiful forensics and analytics engine that can help a lot of people in their NFT journey.
And do you think, sorry for hammering you just question after question, Vijay, but I just find it super interesting because I must admit I was one of the probably ignorant people about NFTs in the beginning. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I just don't really understand. But I think once you start thinking about NFTs, it's not necessarily just trading cool little pictures, but actually about having ownership of assets and being able to trade assets past, because obviously this could be, it could be affected across pretty much all industries, right? Not just like super materialistic stuff, but for houses and like assets that you own, generally speaking. I mean, I don't know what kind of infrastructure would be needed to kind of be built on, to trade like assets of that sort of size. But yeah, I mean, as you say, it's very, very early on in the journey, right? So how do you see the future of NFTs, generally speaking? Like, I mean, if we fast forward, I know this is really difficult because time at the moment is crazy, but let's say 10 years, how do you see the difference between what we do now with NFTs to what would potentially be there?
I mean, what we now do is like just 1 or 2% out of the whole potential. So in 10 years, there could be much more resources to learn about NFTs, to do in NFT space. Right now, look at the resources. That's why I compare this journey to my data science journey. That is why it is so close to my heart. Because when I started in 2013, even in library, there were hardly books that were written on data science. And even if there were few, it was like very few in numbers. Data science books were very few in numbers. So I draw inspiration from that journey because it looks similar now in this NFT space. There are not a lot of resources. There are not a lot of developers. There are not a lot of people who understands NFTs. So in 10 years, I mean, time has to ultimately tell where we go. But I believe that most of the big companies, most of the communities, most of the closed, exclusive communities will shape around NFTs. Because if you are a member of, let's say, Lufthansa, if you are a member of British Airways, if you are a member of so and so club, you need to hold NFTs that can unlock whole new benefits to you. It's like a loyalty program. It says that you are part of Manchester United football club, or you're a fan of Arsenal football club, and not just being a club member or a fan who gets nothing out of it other than entertainment, but then you also get to trade. You can also get some money back for the time you spend, for the things that you do in that space. If you are a football fan, you might have seen so many amazing games that Arsenal or Man United has played, but then other than entertainment you get nothing. But with NFTs and with blockchain, you get to trade your experiences with the local community. I bet that there are millions of fans for Man U and Arsenal globally, and then if you want to trade something and get benefits out of it, then NFTs and blockchain are the way to go.
And I guess, as you say, I think the thing that I like about you guys is, because looking from the outside in, it's quite difficult to. I think it's always difficult with any AI ML-esque startup to really understand like where they fit, unless it's like something that's been done a million times before, right? But I don't know of any other companies, especially in Germany, that are doing anything kind of similar to you guys. I mean, the closest thing that I think of is like fraud detection, like Hawk AI and stuff like that. But that's on like transactions, like from a financial perspective, right? So looking from the outside in, I was like, I wonder how these guys actually tie in with the market and where their entry point is and how they actually help. But it's super interesting to hear what you guys are doing, especially around wash rate. I mean, I'd never heard of that terminology before either, so I didn't know there was that level of complexity at all. So what do you think is the end goal for you guys? Like, where are you actually trying to take bitsCrunch, generally speaking, and what's the North Star for you guys right now?
I mean, we would like to be the Intel inside of NFTs in the future, more like, I mean, in the other words, we would like to be the tick mark of NFTs, more like Twitter's verified tick mark. That tells you which NFTs are good, which NFTs are bad, or where to stay away from. And as the space progresses, as the space evolves, like brands like Reddit, Starbucks, and other big names chipping into NFT space, more and more Web2 users like Luke and Vijay also jumps into NFTs without even knowing that is an NFT. That is going to happen for sure, because now if you look at Facebook, do we really go deep into what is the like and what is the comment and what is the algorithm that is running behind Facebook? We don't do that. We just use Facebook for fun. We just use Instagram for fun. And have we ever thought, why is Luke's picture showing up on my wall and why is not Alexander's picture showing up? Both of you probably posted around the same time, around 9 a.m. in the morning. We never go into those minute details. And that is what people are doing right now. They are trying to understand NFTs. They are trying to understand the deep roots of what it is. It is good. It is good if you are willing to learn it. But if on the hindsight, you need to understand that there are much more utilities that could be tagged around NFTs. So wait for the space to evolve, and someday people will forget this term NFTs, where they'll just say digital collectibles. So this video chat, if it goes live on YouTube, that could be a digital collectible. More like Instagram. How did I forget Instagram? Instagram said it is launching NFTs or digital collectibles over 100 countries. And that is how hundreds and hundreds of million users will onboard onto the NFT scene. So that's going to happen for sure. And bitsCrunch would like to be the North Star of NFT forensics and NFT analytics. So we cover the entire spectrum of A to Z when it comes to NFT space. We help traders like Luke and Vijay to find out good NFTs. We help NFT lending protocols. Teams started lending with NFTs. And then VCs, venture capitalists, they are investing heavily on NFTs. So we give them what's the fair trade, what's the bad trade. so that they can figure out the valuations and other stuffs. And then what else? Financial institutions. Mastercard is working with us closely, and then banks, governments. So we would like to be the North Star of NFT world. Whoever who wants to learn pieces when it comes to NFTs, we want to create a repository. We want to create a knowledge hub, more like how Binance did. Binance resources are really clean, really good when it comes to crypto. So we want to educate a lot of people through this journey. We want to hire a lot of people. We want to inspire a lot of people. And I always tell this to my team. I wish bitsCrunch will also be named as bitsCrunch Mafia, more like PayPal's Mafia. Because look at PayPal. So many founders came out of PayPal, right? It's Elon Musk who came out and built something, Peter Thiel, and there are so many startups, ChargeBee, so many startups. I mean, sorry, that was the wrong name, but yeah, there are so many names out there. So I want to see so many founders getting out of bitsCrunch, starting something on their own, and then getting funded. Even bitsCrunch is willing to fund them in their journey. That is what I tell to my team, to inspire a lot of people, to inspire a lot of entrepreneurs. And it's not just about providing entrepreneurship. I want to create a ripple effect. So let's say I have created 40 jobs over the last 14 to 18 months of this journey. And if I can create 4 or 5 entrepreneurs, then that's like 200 jobs easily in a span of 2 years. So I want to create more entrepreneurs rather than employees. And I wish I do that in a span of like 5 to 10 years from now.
Awesome, man. I guess the follow-up question I've got to that is, and I know this is super difficult to answer because you don't know what you don't know, but what do you think right now is your biggest challenge about achieving what you've set out to achieve?
For sure, hiring is definitely a challenge. And then definitely when it comes to Web3, crypto, NFTs, a lot of people still think that it's a shady area. It's not one of the well-responsed or well-received areas. But it's fine. I mean, AI received a similar attention when it arrived the scene, right? People were ranting on Facebook and Twitter about saying, how come a computer thinks like a human? How come a computer behaves like a human? But now look at things. Every industry is automated. I mean, who fits the car nowadays? A robotic arm fits the car engine. And then the human ultimately inspects. So we have come a long way from fitting a car manually by deploying hundreds of people to fit one car, from using 2 or 3 robotic arms to fit everything and then use a couple of people to inspect. So everything is shady at the beginning, and it needs time and effort to really understand and to really stay here. It requires time. Like I said at the beginning, it's just like a baby at this point, and it needs time to crawl, then step up, climb up, and then run towards glory.
It sounds like maturity is the thing that we're looking for in this market then.
Yep.
Good, man.